There is a second video that has surfaced with rapper Blueface and his 6-year-old son. Blueface is asking his son, "Are you gay?" And it's very clear that his 6-year-old son, this is a child, and you can see clearly by his facial expressions, the child's facial expressions, and the way he answers his dad, that he is clearly only responding to his dad's voice and reaction. Children are very sensitive to voice tones, facial expressions, and they're very smart. And it's very clear that this child is responding with the answer no, because he fears how his dad will react should he have said yes to the question, "Are you gay?" And you find out that Blueface's 6-year-old son doesn't even know what gay means, because Blueface asks him, "Do you know what gay means?" And the child responds, "No, I really don't." Blueface continues on. He doesn't even tell him what gay means, but he says, if you were, I'd really be angry, but I'd still love you anyway." There is so much to unpack with this interaction between father and son. And I want to address it because I am a gay life coach and I identify as a lesbian. And I know what it's like to be a child who is gay. And I know what it's like to be in an environment, in a home space where you can feel just the disdain and the hatred for people who identify as gay and lesbian or homosexual by your parents or caregivers or siblings, whoever is, in your safe space or supposed safe space. Unfortunately, our homes are not safe spaces, and gay youth don't have a chance to be themselves. Now, I remember being a child very young. I knew I was gay before the age of 10 years old. But I didn't know what the word gay or lesbian meant. Now, gay or lesbian can be used interchangeably for females, but primarily gay does mean a male child or a male adult who is same-sex attracted. Lesbian refers to a female child or a female adult who is same-sex attracted, meaning they're attracted to their same sex or their same gender, sexually, romantically, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and mentally. Now, rapper Blueface is a grown man. He's been grown for quite some time, but the maturity level is absolutely not there. Nor is the gentleness that is such a requirement when you are dealing with children. your own children. And there's actually statistics that show that young boys are more emotional than young girls, like toddlers and just, you know, children. The difference in the sexes and their behaviors and their emotions. If you study statistics, you'll learn that young boys are more emotional and expressive than their female counterparts as children. And unfortunately, a lot of adult males are very impatient with their sons when they express emotion. And what I mean by expressing emotion is they're very vulnerable. They're very gentle, mild children. They speak what's in their heart. They also are very expressive, and they cry. They they may become upset. They may speak more often than you think they should, meaning that, you know, children can talk your ear off, as they say, but they're learning and they're growing. And unfortunately, some men are very impatient with children, and especially their sons, because they've been taught to be hard and to be cold and to be quiet and not to speak how you feel and not to express your emotions. So they project this mindset onto their children. And if their children don't behave in a way that they think is appropriate, then the first thing they want to do is ask their child if he is gay, because they look at a child as being emotional or expressive or a little bit gentler as soft, as gay, in a slur manner. And this is extremely inappropriate and toxic, because you're not supposed to transfer that type of negative energy to your child, because your child is very impressionable and your child wants to impress you. Your child loves you. They're innocent. All they want to do is love you as their dad. You're their dad. All this child wants to do is be loved. And if he senses that you are not pleased with him, and he doesn't even understand, he can't begin to know where you're coming from, because you're this grown man who's lived your life, and all of the things that you went through and experienced and faced in life, you haven't healed from that. You don't even know how to manage your emotions as an adult male. And you're teaching your child, and you're actually dumping how you feel on this young precious child. And now he's already traumatized. He doesn't even have a chance to just be himself, because all he wants to do is just make his dad happy. But no, dad is not going to be happy, because dad just told me, I'll be angry with you, but I still love you. There is so much wrong with that statement, because it's very contradictory and it's confusing. The child has done nothing wrong, but you are teaching your child that who they are is wrong. This child doesn't know what gay means, because he said he doesn't. And I know he's telling the truth, because when I was a child, I didn't know what gay or lesbian meant. I didn't know that until I became like maybe 11, 12 years old, when you know your brain begins to form, and you're able to go to school and get around other people, and you learn, you know, from your peers. But a lot of times in the house, it's either hush hush about gay topics, you never hear about it, or you hear about it, but you hear about gay people in a derogatory manner. And then they want to, bully their children into being straight. You don't have to bully or force your child into being heterosexual. He or she is going to be heterosexual. Or if he or she is not going to be heterosexual, they're going to be gay or lesbian. You can't force that on someone, or you can't make someone change who they are. And by you speaking to your child about how you feel about them and it's in a negative light, that stays with that child. And the child won't be able to just naturally learn on his or her own and bump their head, make mistakes without being worried about being judged or criticized or making dad upset, making mom upset. There are children who actually get disowned by their parents just for being gay. They get kicked out of the house and they never get to be themselves. But because you looked at them and you didn't like the way they were acting, maybe he cries too much. Maybe your daughter likes to run outside and play with the boys. So now they're gay. And now you're lecturing them and telling them that they're wrong and that they're bad. I remember a young lady, she was actually a radio host, and she was telling, like on her show, she was saying that she liked girls when she was a little girl. And she got to a point where she liked this young girl, and she said she kissed the girl, on the cheek, and her dad caught her doing it and he whooped her. And she didn't understand why he was whooping her. All she remembers is he was saying words that she didn't even understand, and he was angry. She later realized that he was calling her names like lesbo, dyke. Those are slurish names towards female girls or women who are lesbian. And she just said, oh, I finally figured out that I couldn't be gay because my dad said that's wrong. And she said, I didn't get it, but I just liked her. I just liked the girl, and I kissed her on her cheek. And she said, I still like girls, and I'm a grown woman. You can't mistreat your children and think that they're going to forget about this. The way you treat your children, they're going to always remember that. It never stops. You are the first person that they see. You are the first person that they look up to. You are the first person who they depend on to take care of them. Don't mistreat your children. Don't harm them. Don't verbally attack them. Don't tell them you're going to be angry at them and they don't even understand what you're talking about. Then they're going to go around paranoid. They're going to go around and grow up to be people pleasers. They're not going to be able to just be an independent thinker because they're too concerned about what other people think of them. And your child may not even be gay. So what did you do? You wasted years and years of that child's life for nothing. Just because you assumed that your son is gay. It's ridiculous. And even if your child is gay, even if your child grows up and becomes their own person, if you still resent them for being gay, that's a reflection on who you are, not your child. We need to be more careful how we treat each other. Life is meant to be enjoyed every moment. Our lives are precious. Our lives are a blessing. We are not on this earth for long. Cherish every moment. If you are blessed enough to become a parent, if God has blessed you with children, you honor God by loving your children. God sees us, how we treat each other. Our parents are our backbone. And at some point, we realize they're not perfect. But when you're young, when you're not able to take care of yourself, you are depending on mom and dad to do that for you. Parents are required to be parents. And if you just don't know how to parent a gay child, reach out to someone and ask for help. Stop being full of pride. Stop letting your ego get in the way. Stop letting all your toxic thoughts and your upbringing keep you down and spoil your children to the point where they're worse off than you. I'm a gay life coach. You can reach out to me. I know what it's like to be a gay child growing up in a homophobic family. By God's grace, I was able to overcome it, but it was not easy. And when I see things like what Blueface is doing to his 6-year-old son, it really breaks my heart. And I have to speak out about it. That's all I have to say for now. You can contact me here on YouTube. My name is Giselle Wallace. All of my contact information is here on YouTube in the description box. Please, if you are a parent, if you are a child, and if you are an adolescent, I don't care what your sexual orientation is. If you hear this message, please share it, like it, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because more messages I have for you to come. Thank you for listening.